The first time I saw her, she was crouched behind the remains of my greenhouse, half-starved, half-wild, and completely alone. It was dusk on Viral 6, a terraformed frontier colony now mostly abandoned. The evacuation orders had gone out months ago when the supply ships stopped coming. But I stayed. Someone had to monitor the reactors. And frankly, I preferred the silence. Then she showed up. She couldn't have been more than 8 or 9. Thin limbs, skin a pale iridescent blue, and eyes too large and expressive for any Earthborn child. Her silvery white hair was tangled, her feet bare and blistered. She was watching my campfire, unmoving, hungry but too afraid to approach. I'd seen reports of local fauna mutating post-collapse, but nothing like her. "Hey," I said, softly, holding up a hand. "It's okay. I'm not going to hurt you." She flinched but didn't run. So I reached for the stale ration bar in my pocket, broke it in half, and set one piece gently on the rock between us. Then I stepped back. She didn't trust me. Not yet. But the hunger won over. She snatched the food and vanished into the trees. For the next 2 nights, she returned. Always at the edge of the light, always silent, watching me cook with wide, yearning eyes. So I made sure to leave a little extra out each night, half a ration, a boiled root, even some purified water in a small bowl. She never said a word. But on the 3rd night, she didn't run. She sat by the fire. I didn't speak. I just handed her the food and let her eat. Her hands shook the whole time. By the 5th night, I had made her a blanket from old ship insulation and some spare fabric. When I offered it, she looked at me for a long time, then pressed her tiny hand to her chest. "Thank," she whispered. Her voice cracked like dry leaves. It was the first word she'd spoken. Her name, I later learned, was Nailey. Not from her, she didn't talk much, but from the tiny carved pendant she wore around her neck. It glowed faintly, inscribed in some language the translation software struggled to decode. Nailey had clearly been through something horrific. Her body bore faded marks, burns, lashings, old bruises. I didn't ask. She didn't offer. But when I gently applied ointment to her scars, she didn't pull away. We developed a routine. She'd come before sunset. I'd prepare food. She'd help gather wood or clean tools. No words, just quiet understanding. And every night before she left, she'd smile. Not wide, not carefree, but real. And for a man who'd given up on companionship years ago, that smile was everything. Then came the storm. A full solar flare fried half my comms array and knocked out auxiliary power. I was outside realigning the backup panel when I heard it, branches snapping. A soft thump, a panicked cry. Nailey. She was collapsed by the tree line, her face pale, body trembling. She was burning up. I rushed her inside, laying her gently on the cot. Her eyes fluttered open for a second, locking onto mine. "And Mother," she gasped. She's coming." Then she passed out. For 2 days, I nursed her fever. My medical supplies were limited, but between improvised herbal concoctions and careful hydration, I managed to stabilize her. She was so light, like holding air wrapped in skin. Every time she stirred, she muttered strange words, a mixture of alien syllables and broken English. But one word kept repeating. "Mother, mother, mother." I thought maybe she was hallucinating, remembering, grieving, until the 3rd night. It was late. I had just started to doze in the chair beside her when I felt it. A presence. Not movement. Not sound. Just awareness. I opened my eyes. She was there, at the edge of my camp, tall, regal, and unmistakably alien. The mother. She stood with poise, watching me through the window, her eyes glowing softly in the dark. Her skin shimmered the same pale blue as Nailey's, but older, etched with wisdom and pain. Her long white hair was braided with bone and crystal. She wore woven cloth and armor crafted from metal scraps, scavenged and ceremonial. I stepped out cautiously, hands up. "I'm not your enemy," I said. "She's safe. She's healing." The mother didn't speak. Instead, she looked toward the shelter, where Nailey slept. Then back to me, and in a voice like water over stone, she said, "You gave her bread. You gave her light." I nodded. She was alone. The woman stepped forward. No longer. They stayed that night. I moved my things to the outer workshop so they could rest comfortably. When I returned in the morning, Nailey was sitting in her mother's lap, beaming. She ran to me when she saw I was awake and grabbed my hand. "This is Myra," she said proudly, looking back at her mother. We want to stay." I blinked. "Stay." Myra stood. She towered over me, but didn't feel threatening. Her voice was solemn. "You cared for my daughter when I could not. You fed her, healed her, and gave her warmth. Our kind remembers such gifts." She bowed her head slightly. "I ask, may we remain? Help you or protect this place, and you?" I didn't know what to say. For years, I had lived in silence, thinking myself forgotten, left behind. Now I had a child clinging to my arm and a warrior mother offering her loyalty in return for kindness I barely remembered giving. I nodded slowly. "Yes, stay. Both of you." Nailey squealed and hugged me tight. Myra simply gave a nod. That evening, I added 2 more bowls to the dinner fire. Days turned to weeks. They integrated easily, Myra helping repair the solar fields, her strength and knowledge of local terrain unmatched. Nailey tended the garden I'd long given up on, coaxing life from soil with gentle hands and quiet songs. We became a team, a family. I taught them human customs. They taught me stories of their people, how they were hunted off-world, survivors of a forgotten genocide, hiding in the corners of colonized planets. Myra had given up hope until Nailey disappeared. "I thought she had died," she told me one night by the fire. "But instead, she found you." I glanced at the girl, now sleeping soundly, curled up beside the makeshift dog I'd cobbled together from scrap and servos. "She saved me too," I whispered. Then the alert came. A long-range ping. Faint, but unmistakable. A ship approaching orbit. Not Earth-aligned. Not friendly. Pirates. Viral 6 was on no one's map anymore, making it a perfect raiding ground. We had hours at most. I armed the perimeter. Old defense drones, tripwires, camouflaged trenches. Myra stood beside me, sword forged from starship metal in one hand, a plasma rifle I'd modified in the other. We didn't speak, but we knew what we were protecting. When the raiders landed, they didn't expect resistance. They expected a dying planet and maybe salvageable tech. They got a mother's fury and a human's stubborn refusal to lose what little he'd found. We held them back. Together. When it was over, the camp was scorched but intact. Nailey ran from the shelter into our arms, sobbing with joy. And for the first time, I felt something crack open inside me. Not fear, not loss, but love. Real, terrifying, unstoppable love. Weeks later, as the stars shifted and new life bloomed in the gardens, Myra approached me beneath the twin moons. "You are not alone anymore," she said. "I know," I whispered. She stepped closer. "Will you be our home, human?" I looked at her, then at Nailey, who was drawing stars in the dirt nearby. I nodded. "Yes. As long as I live."